This one is for the GWCs, guys and gals with cameras. Yes. Greetings once again, multiversal soul familia. Hello and welcome back. I do have some written channeled messages that were done, shielded and protected. This is all pertaining to guys and gals with cameras. So, regardless of your title and your field position, your job description, if you work with a camera or have a paid interest involving a camera, these messages are for you. I'm going to begin with what I have written down here. And it's been placed on my heart to just go through the channeled messages a little bit at a time. And we're going to begin with the mystical shaman. All right. So the first channeled message to come out was that you really care about your job. But there is also tension. What seems like constant mishaps. And even possible regrets in a union. So that's not all of it. That is just the beginning. We're going to stop there and go into the mystical shaman. Pertaining to these tensions, constant mishaps, regrets, and even a possible union that involves regret here. So, oops, I bumped the camera. My bad. So, let's see, what this job, this vocation, this paid interest entails that you, as a GWC, so care about. So, we have the Jaguar. It was the only, there's two cards. Okay. 2 cards. We have the Child in the upright and the Jaguar in reverse. And this is all pertaining to your vocation that you really care about. In times of fear, you are typically the one who brings the courage and certainty, feeling as though from where you are, you cannot become prey to another. You are really good at tracking and remaining certain. It's like you can pick up on these energetic changes, even from a distance, without even being detected. The master of the shadows, by night and by day. Feeling guided to continue to investigate the unknown and to venture into the mystery, including dark places you and others have been reluctant to explore before. Your instincts have been serving you well. The child is here, showing you how to course correct without you feeling punished. And it's been placed on my heart that a lot of that tension involves feeling punished, especially with these constant mishaps. But with the child here, this is like not necessarily a second chance for you. It's more like you are the one offering this hope and protection, chasing away the fears of others, chasing away the uncertainty of others. Something involving a beginner's mind. Something that you may have experienced before, but still feels brand new to you because you have the ability to see the situation through a whole new set of eyes. So I'm getting that your vocation, your lifestyle, also involves working with others that you have really grown to care about. And there's this part of you that feels as though some of this tension and regret is because you have been covering for others responsible for these mishaps, bypassing it instead of addressing it. Which moves me a bit further along in the channeled messages to where it states right after possible regrets in a union, there was blame games. Someone is sick of their partner. And a family member plotting sabotage. And there's more detail to that portion. But let's just take a closer look at the cards. The child. Remaining open to learning and discovery. The Jaguar also involves a beginner's mindset. So both of these cards involve having a beginner's mindset, but also having the ability to perceive things through the eyes of a child, with childlike awe, childlike wonder. Like, how would I have resolved this issue when I was a child? Are you being too soft on others instead of them having the opportunity to be accountable? Or do you need to see them with a bit more of that childlike awe, seeing their innocence in the matters? Because it could go either way. Making excuses for them without it being resolved or anyone taking accountable makes way for more of that. Mishaps, inviting more mishaps until it became constant. And then in comes the regrets. In a union involving a partner that either you are sick of or they are sick of you. Now, this doesn't necessarily equate to romance. It could be a partner in your vocation, in the type of work that you do involving cameras. So let's take a closer look by going back into the cards in terms of these regrets in a union. Tell us more about these regrets in a union. Okay, that was one full pass. We have the upper world, and it's more upright than reversed, so we will keep it as such. All right. The upper world in terms of the regrets in a union. It's like saying that you have divine helpers. And it doesn't necessarily mean the ones in the physical helping you or you helping them. I just heard somebody say, you're tacky. But what that really means is that they are tacky. They're behaving tacky and gaudy and overdone, over-embellished. Ooh, over-embellished truths I just heard. Which means, to a degree, that the majority of the context of that truth is a lie. Someone is jealous of your divine helpers, as though they don't believe or they don't want to believe that that divinity is available just as much to them as it is to you. With the upper world in the upright, it couldn't be any more clear and obvious that you are where you're meant to be. You are on the right path. This is part of your destiny. Whatever it is that you're doing is part of your destiny. And as you step into your more fully realized self, it's ruffling some feathers. So this sabotage that's incoming from a family member has to do with them recognizing that you are on your divine path. And they are the ones in denial. And according to the channeled message, this is someone who is a distant relative to someone you have known for no less than 9 years. Possibly a cousin of a relative to you, either by marriage or through lineage, from the other person's family. So this could be like a best friend's cousin, or a partner's child's girlfriend's cousin, or just something along that line. In terms of the sabotage. Oh boy. What I'm getting is that they never thought that you would even still be around. But you are. They thought you would have given up by now on whatever work it is that you're doing involving camera equipment. Whether it's something similar to what I do, or you're more into like geocaching, or urban exploring, or doing abandons and paranormal. You could be a professional photographer, contracted. I just heard an independent contractor for photography. So you're not fully contracted with one venue or person. Whatever work it is that you do involving camera equipment. Some blame games have been occurring. Whoever this is, they blame you for their constant mishaps. Because they are the ones incapable of taking accountability, being more responsible. I just heard, she just wants it all handed to her. Yes, just like that. Like, really? I'm about to light the palo again because I'm really not liking this energy. At all. It's always difficult for me to relay these kinds of messages. But it is not my job to pick apart what messages are worthy of being delivered. I get the messages, I deliver the messages. And that's it. But you're dealing with someone or someone in your environment when you are working with camera equipment is dealing with it. And it's all like congealing, like a trickle effect or a domino effect. Further down in my notes, we have, I'm not sure, there's two. It's inside. So there's more than one person involved in these mishaps and blame games. More than one person the collective has had to deal with in no less than the last 9 years. Not directly related, but related to someone also not directly related necessarily, but it could be a cousin or a friend of a relative, a cousin or a friend of a non-relative who is still somehow related to others you are involved with. It really could go any direction. Because it's impossible to be accountable for every person that not only we get involved with in some kind of way, but also who they are involved with. And how energy absolutely can be picked up and put down from others. It's almost like they know that you really care about what you're doing. And that's half the reason why they want everything to fall apart for you. So that they can play the hero. I just heard. Something involving a tunnel. Someone who thinks you're old or says you're old. Someone accusing you of bribing others, or they bribe others to go against you. Now I just heard character check. Character check. Moreover, so this is telling me that the type of energy that you've been dealing with is coming from the type who will go find anyone who knows you to get the intel. To stack the odds against you so that you will give up. And so that others will stop believing in you. Especially if you are the one in a union, but you aren't the one having any regrets. It's an outsider, someone outside of this partnership, whether it's business, vocation, romantic, or platonic in any other way. Someone who is a distant relative to another person you have known for no less than 9 years. Trying to affect your partnerships, trying to affect your business, creating more tension. If you have already been instructed on how to deal with these situations, do not ask for any more guidance and take what has been offered. Dealing with the lethargy and idleness. What you perceive as a problem or an obstacle is in fact the irritation you need to take the great leap. So really, whoever this is, they think that they're going to hurt and harm you. But it's like all they're really doing is like knocking you back on track instead of sending you spiraling. And I literally just had the vision of a Mario Kart spinning out. Like you're on a racetrack, metaphorically speaking, and someone just keeps trying and trying and trying to take you out and take you out and take you out. But all they're doing is knocking you back in alignment and sending themselves on a tailspin. Have a banana. I just heard. Have a banana. Watch out for those bananas. They can get a little slippery. Oh, goodness. Somebody is about to slip on a banana. And that somebody isn't us. Ooh! Watch your step. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Rainmaker in reverse. And behind that, we have the Medicine Wheel. Anytime that this card shows itself, this is when I know it's time to do another one. So, sometime this week, and it won't be tomorrow, I will be doing a Medicine Wheel. But let's see what the Rainmaker has to do with These constant mishaps and tension. So, this is the realization that you are co-creating your world and that nothing is happening, quote unquote, out there without your involvement. Sometimes just knowing about something is an involvement. You don't even have to be directly involved, I just heard. You don't even have to be directly beefing with them, but they sure think they are beefing with you. Collective, we're being guided to not hold back. Do not hold back. The seeds that have been silently germinating in our heart will burst forth, ready for the sunlight. Put all your chips on the next roll of the divine dice. Okay, so that tells me in the next medicine wheel I will be including the dice. It's been quite some time since I've done any dice divination, so that is definitely going to be included in the medicine wheel, which will more than likely be scheduled for Friday. Because today is hump day, happy hump day. Tomorrow we have our exclusive Thursday Intel word on the streams. So, although we are aware of this cousin of a relative on another side of the family, not directly related, everything that they have been doing has been rendered useless. 3333 on the timer. Rendered useless. And with all those threes showing up, this tells me that although what they have been doing has been rendered useless, collective, the collective is still abundant with potential. Your chance to reach your highest of potentials is here. Perseverance has gotten you to where you are. You have been through so much, and this guidance is here to show you that you are exactly where you need to be. This is confirmation of what I was saying about how you are right where you need to be. My potential is infinite. I use my strengths as my ally to pursue my highest good. And I love you. 143, I love you. It also stands for preparation. Life is filled with phases. The whisper is telling you to prepare for the unexpected and allow change to pass through with a sense of peace. Financial and creative changes are upon you. And the affirmation is, my dreams and desires are coming to fruition, bringing change that I welcome with an open heart and mind. Beautiful. It was right behind the 333, so I felt guided to go ahead and reach for it. And share it with you. On the opposite side, when I was looking for the 3, is the 8, in abundance. An abundance of potential and preparation. And with the medicine wheel, it's like reaffirming, these cards are reaffirming that we already have all the tools, materials, modalities, and support. Divine helpers, as a matter of fact. All right, let's take a closer look at the medicine wheel. Guiding us to take a look at certain aspects of our being. A question you can ask yourself as you step to the north, following your true north, you ask, do I know my passion and show it? Spending some time in each direction, north, south, east, and west, from the south, reflecting on how you are still clinging to events from the past, or they are still clinging to events of the past. You know, the cousin of a daughter-in-law or whoever keeps trying to sabotage your lives and would go to any extent including cooperating with dark forces. Stepping to the west, noticing which relationships are toxic and draining your energy. And then at the end, at the east, visualizing how you want to live the next chapter of your lives. So, whatever you have been doing, you're being guided to continue including your healing journey, as it cannot be postponed. Finding the inner strength to step into the medicine wheel, or losing an opportunity. Choosing the one path that resonates most. And then the only mistake you could make is not continuing to follow it. Stop listening to them. As a matter of fact, stop listening to others who find it their business to tell you others' business, others' thoughts, opinions, gossip pertaining to you. And in the very beginning, the first channeled message is that you really care about your job. But the job also involves working in multiples, working in groups, and having multiple, locations and sceneries and just all these variables. And it's like there's something that you can learn from every one of those experiences, even though they're all different. Here's the thing. There is a commonality that the collective is tired of dealing with, and that's the constant mishaps. If you work alongside your partner, it may be, your romantic partner. If this involves a romantic partner, it may be best if you don't work together. If this involves a business partner, you may need to either part ways or set boundaries and equally distribute the responsibilities. You will not lose the divine helpers. And it's just been placed on my heart that some of these divine helpers are already working with you, already in the physical and the astrals. At the bottom of the deck, we have the staff. But I don't think Spirit is referring to a stick. The staff. So, a partner trying to convince you that the staff is the problem when the problem is them. Someone trying to convince your staff or your following, your connections, that you are the problem, when in all actuality, it's them. Now, this is not me crossing boundaries and judging or calling anyone out or getting on that gossip train for that matter. We're actually going to get out of this energy. Because there's two. Not just this cousin of a loved one, of a distant relative, of blah, 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 blah. It sounds so low vibe coming out of my mouth. That's part of the reason I dislike relaying these messages. But here's the thing. I take what I do very seriously. What kind of messenger would I be if I only provided the cushy, sugar-coated, candy shop messages? What kind of messenger would I be if I could even turn the worst cards in the deck into a gassed up, glowy, glossy message for you? I am not the one, son. I don't get to pick and choose what I'm meant to be relaying at this time. And at this time, there is someone who is a GWC, someone who works with camera equipment, dealing with these messes and mishaps. And it all boils down to two sources. Two. One of them being the primary instigator. More than likely the one going around doing unauthorized character checks and rallying others, attempting to rally others against you. I'm not quite sure what the message of the tunnel is, because that was the only word that came out, was tunnel. It came by itself. Some of you may live near tunnels that either have a dark history or someone intends to create a dark history involving this tunnel. Some of you have already escaped that type of environment. And the only reason you don't speak on it heavily is because it's an open case involving more than just tunnels, involving more than just us, John and Jane Does in the system. We're not actually in the system, because once you wake up, you don't go back to it. You simply don't. Once you open your eyes to the broken, collapsing system, you don't go back. Unless you're someone like this charlatan in the background that you would only know through others. They think it's funny to be so sinister and malicious. But yet everyone that they have rallied with, their circle that they thought that they formed. Everyone is having mishaps, and that's where the constant mishaps are coming in. Not only they know the struggle is real, everyone that they tried to rally against you is also realizing the struggle is real. Everything that they've tried to afflict towards the collective is like a boomerang effect. And it's coming back on them way sooner than they anticipated it. Alright, let's make one more full pass through the mystical shaman. One more full pass. Okay. Alright, and nothing came out, so that typically leads me to the bottom, which we have many paths in reverse. And right behind that we have the giveaway. It's like they think that you don't have very many options, but yet at the same time, we've had so many options and ideas, we've given the majority of them away and watched others cultivate a more meaningful life, a more prosperous, abundant life. This many paths in reverse, however, to a degree does remind us to be sure to choose our paths with our heart. A path with a heart. You have outgrown these situations and mishaps that you've been dealing with. You have outgrown any blame games. And you have outgrown any petty Penelope still trying to rally against you. Being called to step out of your comfort zone. Surrendering your next moves to the divine. Knowing that all paths lead to spirit, Being a part of something greater than yourself means that you also, at any time, can surrender these regrets and mishaps to the divine and decide today which of your paths are the ones with the most heart. And then furthermore, surrender the journey and the outcome to the divine. You still have so much to offer. Your authentic love, genuine feelings, connecting with gratitude, and without feeling even that need for reciprocity. Without feeling as though you need anything or anyone to inspire it. And sharing that gratitude through multiple paths, tools, materials, and modalities. Move over was one of the channeled messages, followed by blessed. So it's like really all you have to do is take one step in either direction, and you're moving out of the line of their fire. That is what was just placed on my heart. They think that you won't understand. They think that you're pathetic. They say petty things like you're tacky or you're old just to try to get your goat. Well, we already know goats they'll eat just about anything. And right now their goat is just eating it up. But they didn't get ours, did they? This is the kind of person who could be on a holiday even right now, bragging about how they can go to places that you could never. But deep down inside, when no one else is looking, they're feeling cut off. They're feeling their path is cut off. Deep down inside, the dialogue that they utilize against themselves isn't any more pretty. They have been telling themselves that they are pathetic, and then getting angry about it and wanting to fire back at the collective. Because they are tired of adulting. They're tired of being responsible. They're tired of being a one-man band. Meanwhile, the collective has divine helpers both in the astrals and in the physical. But here's the thing. They have all the same potentials and opportunities as the rest of the collective. But they're blind to it. Because they're too busy wondering what you're doing. Why you have what you have. Why you're with who you're with. Why you work with who you work with. Why you make the choices that you make. Sitting on the beach with a nice cold drink, watching the sunrise or set, sounds absolutely beautiful and inviting. Unless you're one of those type that is going through a situation where it doesn't feel beautiful, it doesn't feel refreshing, it doesn't feel good. Because there's a difference between being alone and being lonely. They are lonely and alone. The only support that they get is from those who also think that these mishaps and shenanigans of sabotage are funny. Until it happens to them. They have many paths as well, but they choose to stalk yours. We're going to go into the Hungarian Gypsy fortune-telling oracle for a bit more detail. Getting out of that energy, getting out of that mindset. You are not the one creating any of it, but if you're still in the know of the intel, you're still inadvertently allowing it in your life. Like some of the collective may even have to go as far as going through some kind of disbandment, separation, divorce even. Just to get away from the circus. And if you do have to go through some kind of separation on that level, just know that nothing bad is going to come out of it. and the best has just begun. In the environment and behind the scenes, misfortune is in reverse. Confirmation that I was saying that everything that others were trying against the collective has been turned around on them. It has affected their journey. Their journey of trying to fit a castle inside of a carriage. But for this particular journey that the collective is on at this time, the misfortune is either over or it's not going to lead to misfortune at all. Help us wrap this up with a bit more detail about this situation for the GWCs, please. One, I have not made a full pass and I'm feeling guided to do a full pass. Ooh, and that's a lot. Right here, we have more cards. So, we have Fortune, the Gift, Death, Thoughts, and Constancy. So this is confirmation that you're going to be coming out on the winning end of these situations. As they're being put to rest. Though you may still constantly be in your thoughts about it. Involving either a lover or something else that you made official in your life that you care deeply about, you love deeply. You love what you do. For some of you, this is involving a marriage. Either your marriage or someone who thinks that they are going to marry into the sabotage. With the Widow in reverse, this is someone younger, a younger female. Someone who is a younger female than the collective. Oh, we just had one turnover inside the deck, and it is Malady in reverse. No, this is great. Every attempt that they have tried on the collective has only made our lives better. You still have a snake nearby, but they cannot access your garden. Those divine helpers are protecting the garden, protecting the home, protecting you, protecting everything involved, including some of your helpers in the physical are also protected. Yo, I am not liking this energy. So we're going to bring this to a close with the Kipper. Because, yeah, look, there's been times when I have sat in this energy for a long period of time, and then I started having my own experiences. So we are not trying to do that. Let's get out of this energy. It looks as though there is a false person involved, either in your family, with your family, or whatever work it is that you do involving cameras. Or both. It could be a false person who is involved in or with the family and your vocation, but concerns are fading away. Message of concern in reverse at the bottom. Yeah. Concerns are fading away, and look what's behind that. The gift is out twice. This tells me that not only are we being literally gifted by others, we are also gifted in other ways. That God spark. Double, double, double for our trouble, trouble, trouble. Double the gifts. Look. Gift, gift. Double. So the more they try to tear us down, the more we increase. By not expecting reciprocity, in our current situations, that is, and our direct connections, the divine is doing the rest. The reciprocity is showing up for us in other ways. And yeah, sometimes that means being divinely gifted with a little something something that somebody else is going to be jealous of, or they are jealous. Jealous of your relationships, jealous of your gifts. And they're working with someone. And it's just been placed on my heart just now that this someone that the saboteur is rubbing elbows with has immediate access to your life and the know-how and the intel of your life. So someone close to you has been confiding in the saboteur about you. But it's giving that energy of only if they're asked. Like they don't go volunteering to talk about you. But if the saboteur were to ask about you, well, then it's free game, right? The gift also represents aid, support, resources, rescue, and joy. And usually exactly what we need. Softening the blow of nearby challenging ones. Interesting. I didn't make that up. I'm reading from the guidebook. Gifts, aid, help, support, resources, rescue, and joy. Usually exactly what you need. This powerful card has the ability to soften the blow of nearby challenging ones, which would be the false person and their buddy, their little sidekick. But the light that the collective's gifts have to offer cannot be snuffed out. That's what I just heard. The light of the candles here has been snuffed out. But it has no bearing. It has no bearing on how the gifts are laid or portrayed. A gift is a gift is a gift. Is a gift. And this light cannot be snuffed out. Taking the edge off of negative cards. Standing for happiness, praise, profits, recognition, and even actual gifts. But also depicted in such a way as to serve both as the act of giving or receiving. So there's more signs of that divinely orchestrated reciprocity that we do not expect in return for what we have to offer in terms of our gifts. a main male, or a main gig has been turned on its head. Resulting in bad health for those involved. Disclaimer alert, disclaimer alert. I'm not a doctor, it's not a diagnosis, not a prescription, not a prognosis. I am simply the messenger and a healer. Don't pew pew the healer messenger. But they're not as well off as they proclaim. Neither is their love life, nor are they enjoying what they do as much as they used to. Insights and advice to draw this to a close, please. Distant horizons and adjudication in reverse. A major win for us is on the horizon. It's not that major win. Cases, causes, concerns, conflicts, confrontations. Coming to an end. In the collective's favor. That big win for us has already made landfall and is currently being anchored. While any shady business, including in the judiciary system, is being turned on its head in our favor. Without anyone losing a life. Involving family. Just like I said, this is like a family member of a family member, and not everyone is actually related unless by marriage. The tea has been served. That lovely redhead in the background knows she's favored. Comforted. Catered to. Because she is the living truth. Who's that? She's looking a little distraught. She's definitely not looking as illuminated. That's it. Okay, thank you, Spirit. This is you. This is the collective. This is that other. This is the saboteur. This is the saboteur. It doesn't actually have to be a redhead and a brunette, but yeah. Someone in your life who has darker hair. And a darker heart. They are the one pooling in the dark water, is what I was just told. It was just placed on my heart just now. See all the darkness? But here's the thing. It's also been placed on my heart that they went into that darkness to embrace it. And they're really having a hard time doing so. They're really having a hard time putting the past to rest. When I asked for insights, Spirit, I didn't mean more of this drama. Noticing that the curtains are open instead of closed, this tells me that the setting is less formal. It's shining light on the things that we hold on to. While others are attempting to hold on to us, stalking us, staring us down, aiming for sabotage. But if you've seen them in the dark, and I have seen them shapeshift in the dark, that means that they still have low-level spirits to contend with. There isn't any other way to deliver these messages without it sounding so gross and gossipy. I just can't even frickin' stand the taste of these words coming out of my mouth. It is just so gross. They are being and behaving grossly. And I just heard a woman's voice say, I will deny, deny, deny till my dying day. Deny, deny, deny. But the divine sees all. All of it. And so do our helpers. They see what's really going on. And that's why they're here for us, to offer that aid and support. I just heard with the found family. So the found parts of the family will be the ones on either side of the situation, reaching out to the collective to be more supportive, to be more of aid. For my bros out there, I just heard sometimes you're gonna have to leave your wife at home. And for those of you who have red hair, oh, you know how life can be so much harder for no apparent reason for redheads. Yet when that soul contract was drawn up, you chose to be a redhead. And they hate you for it. They can't be you without getting a little yellow. And if you've ever processed dark hair with really warm undertones, your hair has probably turned yellow, or their hair turned yellow in the process. So metaphorically, the saboteur, we'll just say the saboteur, can never get the same optimal results. And now I'm hearing because we were born with it. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's crystalline. Maybe it's crystalline. If it's the case of it being crystalline DNA activation, then their time will come for that as well. That's what they don't get. We're all at different stages in our lives, in our lifetimes. This is why in 2025 and moving forward, we'll just say since 2021 moving forward, comparisons and competition make the tea and the hearts go cold. So, we are not drinking from that cup anymore. And haven't been for around 4 years. Advice? Let it burn out. Let it burn out. Let that tea get cold. We're not drinking from that cup anymore anyways. Closing message from Hungarian Gypsy. That's the first card out. We're going to reach for this one since it's sticking all the way up and away from the rest of the cards. And we have money and a baby. An abundance of good fortune is in gestation for the collective. And there's that anchor. So just in the time that I started this session and that distant horizons ship came in, this tells me that just in this hour and a half that I've been doing this, a change has already occurred. Because it went from distant horizons to even more coming to shore. I'm hearing, and for some of the collective, that ship has already came in. And with all that green, the heart center is open. And as you bid them farewell, the collective will also be faring well. With merriment right behind it, and there's that green dress. So it's going to result in an abundance of great fortune and an abundance of joy for the collective. It's all going to work out. I can only give like a most likely outcome. So that's what we're going to do. A most likely outcome from each deck used. Starting with the Mystical Shaman. Most likely outcome for the collective in this situation with the Saboteur. Thunder. The song Thunder by Imagine Dragons. It's not going to be the song of the day, but it is the song for the session. Thunder in the upright. Legends speak of great thunder beings who live in the sky and call for your attention when great occurrences are meant to happen in the world. That great reminder that thunder is also a Tower card. Dramatic change that feels like a herd of wild bison on the run. Feeling it right through your bones. And that we are powerless to influence it. Life is an adventure. And wonderful opportunities are arriving now. Wonderful opportunities. What we will need is more flexibility, dexterity, and a willingness to experience it all without dictating from where or in what form opportunities will come. Our destiny is arriving. Do you feel like unnecessary drama is waylaying your life? Could you be exhausted from listening to others tell you their never-ending victim story? Or could you be telling yourself a version of the same? It's time for an about face. Continuing on that path would cause us to regret our choices, even if they appear benign or familiar. It's time to say no to the drama. Focus on solutions rather than problems. We are worthy of a drama-free life. Dang, I could end it there. But we still have one coming in from the Kipper. A mature woman turned over inside the deck. And that wasn't even the full pass. So, let's get that full pass. Oh, a mature woman and a main female as the most likely outcome. And from the Hungarian Gypsy. Oh, Sweetheart has been turned down, but so has Thief and Enemy. They are not your sweetheart. They are not your friend. This is all that false person pretending to be a sweetheart, when in all actuality they're a thief of your joy and your love and sometimes even your money. They are a fiend. Now I can hear a feminine voice saying, "But I was desperate. I was about to lose everything." And you had all this money. I know you had the money because I can smell it. I can smell the money. The money, money. That's them licking their fingers. Like they're licking success off their fingers. I hope they like the taste of failure. Because the outcome is in the favor of the mature woman who is also the main female. I wouldn't take this literally, especially involving things that we love to do or that we also do for our vocation, involving cameras and equipment, camera equipment. So, innocence is indicative. So this is representing the querent. The main female is the querent. And main male came out earlier, but they were turned on their head. So the main female in these situations is going to have their innocence restored with a whole new light shined on them. A beautiful, divine light of innocence restored. She's glowing. Rosy cheeks and all. She looks like she's had it put to her in more ways than one. But even as she ages gracefully. Look how beautiful she is. Just showing a little bit of gray in the future. But she hasn't lost any of her beauty. And her innocence has been restored. Do keep in mind this is energy. So whether you are a male or a female or anything in between, it's you. Now, if you are choosing to believe that you are not the querent of this message, then it's not you. However, this main female having their innocence restored, who is also the older, more mature woman in these situations, is going to be the one holding the rose. Oh, look, and see here, she went from the white roses and the red being separate to creating a beautiful arrangement. And she even threw in some pink. Pink roses are significant, and I'm not absolutely sure, but I do believe that they also represent innocence restored. So what I'm doing, besides lighting up the table here, looking into the spiritual symbolism of the pink rose. Appreciation and perfect thank you gifts. So somebody's going to be thanking us later for whatever it is that we do. And with the gift coming out more than once, it's going to become a residual thing, symbolizing admiration and gentleness, expressing joy, happiness, and soft tenderness. Grace, joy, and kindness. Reflecting on a range of positive affirmations and meanings. Multiple gifts of admiration coming in for the collective. But someone in this saboteur's scheme of things is going to have to go. And if you are the one to go, you will not be the one taking any losses in the process. And that is the message. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Multiversal Soul Familia. With much gratitude and appreciation. From my heart chakra to yours, brightest of blessings.